Welcome back. As I mentioned, we have Elsie Addington here. Well, how are you?
I'm fine, Lisa. Better now that I've seen you again.
Oh, you're so sweet, and we're very happy that you're here. I'm glad you can come in and share some interesting information with us about the meetings. And I know that those meetings can go very long and lots of discussion, but all in all, you have some success things that you want to talk about.
Thank you, Lisa. It's so good to see you again. We had some unfinished business at GRF this month, as we usually do. And the first one I want to talk about is we entertained a motion to cancel duplicate bridge tournament room reservation rental rate. And of course, this has been on a 28-day notification since May. So all of these were unanimously passed. The second one was entertain a motion to approve broadband services reconnection fee. And this also was passed unanimously. And that's when people have lost, or actually when we've taken away people's use of broadband for a specific period of time. Before they can get it reconnected, they need to pay the fee up front, which is a little over $50. And that was brought into our regulations. And the Interboard Anti-Harassment, Anti-Abuse, and Anti-Intimidation Policy, and the formation of a joint hearing body. This is something that's been it's been long in the development, and it's very much in the news these days, harassment, abuse, and intimidation. And this is for everybody, hopefully. Once we get all consolidated, it'll be, this is staff, residents, contractors, directors, anybody harassing or intimidating anybody will fall under this section now. And we're going to put together a joint hearing body to adjudicate. And we also entertained a motion to move benches to improve pedestrian movement. And the reason we've crossed out bus is, who knew? The people that first wrote this up, we didn't realize that bus benches have specific characteristics, such as a shade over them. So these are just regular benches, and we've approved 38 to be moved. This was brought to our attention by the Vision Club, which advocates for visually impaired folks in the village. And we hadn't really thought about, or whoever put them in there, you don't think about visually impaired people walking along and enjoying our sidewalks like everybody else, and all of a sudden they hit this impediment. So we've identified 38 buses that need to be moved off the sidewalk and then behind. So so all pedestrians can walk more freely in these 38 areas. And finally, the clubhouse maintenance programs were discussed. And Manuel Gomez, who's the director of our M&C program, gave us a nice initial presentation, enough for us to send him back to get a plan worked out. And this is like a preventative maintenance. You know what a maintenance means, Lisa? It's like a sort of like we do in very much like we do in the housing mutuals. This will be for the clubhouses, et cetera, et cetera. There is maintenance done on them now, but our president was interested in having a methodical, doable plan for clubhouse maintenance. And Mr. Gomez did a fine job of presenting it to us. And that's all of our unfinished business.
Right. Okay.
Okay, any more questions?
About that? No, I think you're very clear about it. I mean, I think all these things are really important, and I'm glad you guys are discussing it, and you're making some progress there. So you have some new business that you want to talk about.
We do, and this is this is actually kind of exciting if it's short. We entertain, and there's been some misunderstanding here, and I'm here to straighten it out. We entertained a motion to approve the replacement of stop signs throughout the community. Now, this is only 21 stop signs at 16 different locations. Those locations were selected because last year, our security patrol officers handed out 500 tickets for, notices of violation for running stop signs, 500 violations. And those are just the ones that they caught. And this is a pretty serious safety issue with all the pedestrians and bike riders and visually impaired and cars. And I mean, we really have very active streets for a little community of all different types of travelers. So they identified the locations where the heaviest, apparently, you know, I mean, all we have are the tickets to go by, but the most egregious violation centers were these 16 that are on this list. And but there's a total, like one of these has 4 signs, the one at Avenida and Majorca has 4 signs that'll be from all 4 directions, and so they're all different layouts. But anyway, we're hoping that and that's for about $40,000, I think, but it's a small price to pay for extra security. And what it is it has a flashing red light on it. That's the big deal about these stop signs. Sorry.
That's important, though.
And they're solar powered, but they'll go all night long. And so hopefully when people will see a flashing stop sign, maybe they'll come to a stop. You know, I should have led with that, shouldn't I?
No, that's okay.
So we aren't just throwing in a bunch of new stop signs that look like the old ones. These will have flashing red lights on them.
Excellent.
And they're solar powered, so they're
wonderful.
Yeah. So, and then there's a map that shows the various locations, and as you can see, they're pretty much sprinkled all over the.
Is it the purple
community? No, it's the little red dots.
Oh, the little red dots. Yes. Oh, I see the little red dots.
See,
it's really hard to see these things.
Down by Clubhouse
so I see.
3. See, there's 4 down by Clubhouse 3.
Right.
And then over by Monte Hermosa, there's quite a few. And then there's a few sprinkled over in my neighborhood and over in my friend's neighborhood.
Right.
On the other side of the golf course.
Okay, good. Now that map, I think you can see in the Village Breeze, that particular map. Now, whether or not the red dots are on there, I'm not sure, but
this is the same map as in the Village.
Oh, okay, so it is the same
in the
thing.
Village
Okay,
Breeze, but
great.
I don't know unless they put an article in the Breeze about the new stop signs. So,
all right.
And you know, it's much more of an awareness thing. If you see somebody taking out your stop signs, they're not,
they're not stealing them.
They're not stealing them. They're replacing them with these flashing ones.
Perfect.
And
now, this is funny, your new business. We were reading this, we're like, what? So now tell us what this means.
Well, somebody, I think probably everybody by now has heard of little Sebastian.
Sebby, yes.
Who I think was named after the little baby horse in Parks and Recreation, but I could be mistaken on that. I'm not sure.
Oh, could be.
But little Sebastian was he was their town mascot. And this little Sebastian is just gone to everybody's heart. And somebody came along and said, you know, I want to make sure that, you know, little Sebastian's taken care of. And they knew they'd be taken care of, but they wanted to make a generous gesture. And so they donated $3,000 to help towards the board and care of little Sebastian.
Wow.
I know. And you'd think that GRF could just take the money. That's what, that's GRF, right? I mean, I would tell them how to fill out the check. But we live and learn. GRF can't just accept contributions. They have to, it has to go through a little system, which has been gone through, and then we have to. The board has to approve accepting. Right. And I guess, you know, maybe if Attila the Hun wanted to donate $1 million, we would say no.
Right. But it's kind of like it's like a sponsorship, right? So that's what they're looking for. Okay. Kind of. Okay.
Now we have to. I think. This is, I don't exactly understand why. It's just in the, in the rules.
All right.
So that's
good.
What this
so
is.
They can do that, and maybe other people would like to do the same.
Oh yeah, anytime anybody wants to contribute money to one of GRF's projects, please give us a call.
Well, of course, they could email general manager at vmsinc.org.
They certainly could.
And they could send their comments or questions or
Or they could
Potential
send
donations.
They could send me the check, and I'd be pleased to do all the legwork for them.
Okay.
That was just a joke, not a very good one.
All right. Well, thank you for the information. We appreciate it.
And I just have one final thing to say, and that is this last May, I believe it was in May, we went to a lovely employee recognition function, a ceremony over in Clubhouse 7, and it was really lovely, but that's not, I just want to congratulate the spring 2022 recipients of the Employee Recognition Awards, because that was, we don't thank our staff often enough.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay. All right. Of course, if you want more information about anything we have just discussed, you can always go to lagunawoodsvillage.com website, and you can always type in Golden Rain Foundation, and their meetings are held first Tuesday of every month. We'll be right back.